Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogan Monster here, along with the lovely Stevie B.
Hello.
Welcome to Wild Fascination, or WTF, as we like to call it. Good to see everybody in chat tonight.
Yes.
Hope everybody's doing well. Christy, great to see you. Hey, Helton.
Who was first in the door? That was
Harold
and Christy. Hilton.
Arcane.
How you doing?
Paranormal World, what's up?
I'm scrolling.
Oh my. Hey, Val. Yeah, I just scroll back and then start there.
Hey, Piper, how you
catching up.
doing? I
Hey,
hope
Sandra.
you're feeling well. Doing good. WTF, Mike.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Sharon. And Sharon Guy.
The Sharons are here.
They are.
Welcome, everybody. That's cool.
Right. That's
Robert Den Dubin, what's happening? Guys, you know how this works. I will put the link in chat, and anybody can click on that link and come hang out. Anything you want to talk about, we're pretty much game. Tina, how are you?
Tina G. The coffee's too hot. Melt my face.
Make a lot of noise.
I held
Taking
it up.
tiny
Was going to
sips.
take a sip and I got a steam bath.
Who else? I think I got everybody. So what's new with you guys? What's new with you?
I got out of work early a little bit today. I was supposed to, well, we had a meeting that we were supposed to go to. My boss is out. She's going to be out for a few weeks, but I talk to her every day. I sent her a text this morning, checking on her, see how she's doing. I said, do I really have to go to this meeting? do I really? She wrote me back. She said, no, you pretty much know everything, so it's okay.
Oh, you didn't go to the meeting?
No.
I was wondering.
I was home by like 1. I was in the car.
Damn, that was a quick meeting.
I hadn't heard back from her all morning, so I'm like, all right, I'll just go. You know, I mean, I was planning on going anyways. It wasn't in my office; it was across town, which kind of put it out of the way, further away from home. But I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll go. So I got in the car and I was heading out of the park, and she replied and said, "Yeah, you really don't have to go."
Turn.
Exactly.
What's going on, Jeff?
So came home, laid down for a little bit, took a nap. My back's been killing me. My leg, excuse me. Pretty sure it's all related, and that's the joys of walking in prosthetics. Walking on stilts all the time, it kind of jacks you up every once in a while. Take a wrong turn or
wrong step.
Yeah, it does. But I came home, took a nap, and this one here was out on the water in the kayak and came in, and he's like, "You gonna sleep all day? Come on out." So I got up and went out, and the water was glass. I was like, woohoo. Figured out how to get me in the kayak. I can't go over the wall. I probably could, but yeah. I'd end up in the water, I'm sure. So walked around down the street, cut through the neighbor's yard. Well, kind of.
Just over to the shoreline over there.
A couple houses down, went to the shoreline, and he hopped in his kayak and towed mine over there to me. So we got in the water for a bit while I got in the water for a bit.
It got windy.
It did. It was frustrating because too windy. Didn't have any type of anchor system or anything in place, so I was getting blown around a bit.
I had this old cane pole. It's not cane, it's an extendable retractable pole, but this one was originally 16.5 feet, and the end of it broke, so I took out the end. So now there's only 3 sections, but I can use that. It fits right through the hole in my kayak, so I can stick that straight through my kayak and use it as an anchor, like I don't know, like a power pole. You see all these boats with these poles on the back that drop down. Well, those are called power poles or anchor systems. That's sort of what I did. What's up, Mike?
Hey, just listen.
Yeah, my screen froze.
Did it?
Yeah, just on mine.
Roger Blair, how are you?
So good. G, he did. He caught a few.
Yeah, I went out when she was it
You were out there when I was napping, but you were out there when I was at work.
Yeah, before I caught some nice bass. I'm just using this little white jig, and it's like a tube jig, and I'm trying to get crappie. I caught some crappie, but inadvertently you get bass too, and I got some nice bass. I got a 2-pounder and then a 3-pounder. Had to be at least a 3-pounder.
Yeah, some of those. I think some of those younger bass like they see that when they see the crappie going for stuff, they try to like kind of take over.
Oh yeah, it's like the osprey and the eagle.
Well, the last couple mornings I've been going out early in the morning. I think I said it Tuesday. Going out and I caught good size bass. That first morning yesterday, I was out there. I caught a little. If it was a pound, I'd be lucky. But it was a good fight. Today, I just didn't have it in me to go out there.
Good morning, Mr. Hugh.
I stayed in bed a little bit longer. And
yes, I said good morning.
Got up and got really straight for work, and I didn't go out fish this morning. So no, I hadn't caught a fish today. First time in 3 days.
Oh.
Yeah. On a streak there for
I was having fun out there.
Yeah.
But then the wind kicked up and it's hard to drift, and you're constantly trying to correct yourself, and so that didn't last long.
No.
I don't know how those people were kayaking Crystal River. That was sketchy when they were down in those like tight spots, like where all those boats were and stuff around, going around those bends and stuff. Like,
well, we had to back out.
Yeah,
I can get into some small spots with the kayak.
Yeah, the kayak's easy to get into. It's just that to get in between those boats was a little stupid.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess that's what I was getting at. Kindly
getting in stuck in traffic like that.
Jeff says, "I love Crystal River."
Oh God, me too.
Yeah, I gotta take a ride down there soon.
We do before it gets cold and
Three Sisters Springs. Three Sisters Springs is my Disneyland.
Unfortunately, there was nothing in it except a couple bass.
This time of year, though. This time of year, yeah.
It was so good though.
Everywhere.
But surprisingly, as hot out as it was, and as warm as the water was, when I jumped in, I went into it was.
It does. It takes the breath away. It does me every time.
And it was. Yeah, it wasn't even that cold, but just hitting that. I don't know.
Cold. It's 72 degrees. Constant 72. It's pretty chilly when you're going from 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up here finally. I just got off a night hike, and it's starting to warm up finally.
Gary Senior, good to see you.
Hey, Gary. WTF Mike says, have you ever seen the Sea Anchor Mugs, the gyro that takes all the rocking out of the boat? I've seen it at work, like on a video, where I didn't see the product itself, so I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what that
But no, they put this thing on the boat, and they'll get guys on each side of the boat, and they'll rock the boat. Rock the boat, and then they turn this thing on, and you can't rock the boat.
I think I see.
It's a gyroscope that stabilizes the boat. It's bizarre.
Jeff, good to see you.
All right, I'm gonna pop back in chat for a minute because I'm gonna make a lot of noise getting out of here. So I'll be back.
Put you backstage if you want, but
no, it's all right. I'll come back.
All right.
NAC, David, how you doing? Judy.
Yeah, I've seen that, what he's talking about, and I don't know where on the boat it even gets installed. Probably somewhere in the center of the hull. But yeah, it just prevents the rocking of the boat.
That would be good for me. Me and my sea legs are a little wobbly.
Oh, I flipped the kayak today on the shoreline after I got her out. I pulled mine up and I pulled it back a little bit so I could get in it, but it was still, the ass end of it was still on the shoreline. So as I went to push off, I ended up just flipping myself right over.
I had walked off and came back to the house, and I stopped and talked to one of our neighbors that used to live next door, and I was standing there for a few minutes. Excuse me. So I figured I'm looking for him to come by, and I'm telling the guy, I'm like, yeah, he should be coming through any second now, and he didn't. We ended up saying bye, and I walked through the yard, and I'm looking for him. I looked to the left where he should be, but and he's not there. I look over, and he's still on the bank, and when he stands up straight all the way from chest down, just wet, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, it just
He's like, I went in.
It was only in, a couple inches of water, but when I stood up, I mean, I was drenched, but in my pocket were my cigarettes and my lighter,
Dry
as a bone, didn't get touched.
That means you just sprung up once as you went
No,
in.
because even after everything was still wet.
I know.
That was weird.
You know, it was cool though. They're right in that corner of the bank. It's kind of in the very corner down from us of the lake. The gar. There was a bunch of gar. Huge. I mean, huge gar. They must be over there
spawning. And you've got long nose gar and short nose gar, and they're just. But you'll get one big female, and then you'll get like 3 or 4 males swarming it, and
trailing right behind it.
It's all just like maybe 50 yards from here, in this one area. It's really shallow, but it's weedy.
We were heading back. I was heading back to the bank, and I mean this ginormous one. I guess I scared it. My kayak scared it. It splashed up beside me, scared the hell out of me. Like jumped right beside me in the water. I mean, that thing was huge.
It was cool.
Yeah, we had a good time. Well, at least I did.
Well, it was short-lived, but it was cool.
It was, but any time on the water is perfect.
Trying to think. I don't have any. Oh, I got something going out tomorrow, maybe in the afternoon.
I got tomorrow and Saturday, and then my March Madness starts at work. All the colleges start coming through on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the spring
break sports?
Spring break sports. Yeah.
I've got over 289 colleges from all over the country will be in Central Florida. Tennis teams, both men and women, NCAA. We've got mostly D2, Division 2, but we will have some D1 towards the end of the month. But from the 1st all the way through the 20th so far, they're booked solid coming through my park from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Damn.
And I'm still not finished. We're still not done tweaking the schedule. That will end up happening. At this point, it's slowed down.
That's a lot of colleges.
It's a lot of scheduling.
Yeah.
And then it's a lot of people. But I found out the 2 gentlemen that have been the on-site director for the organization, they're going to be back this year. And last year, everything worked perfectly, like flawless. First time, and we've been doing this for going on 12 years now.
So apparently there were some are seeing glitching. We're glitching. I'm glitching. I don't know.
I said my screen had frozen in the beginning.
Am I glitchy?
I don't know. Yeah, you kind of are.
I don't know why. We've been having internet issues. The power's been out, not here, but locally. I got a notice today there was a power outage.
Oh yeah.
Didn't affect us.
What else? Yesterday, the
Facebook was down just when we.
Yeah, Messenger was.
Messenger was down.
I was trying to get on StreamYard. He sends me the link in Messenger, and I go to log on my laptop, and I got this weird message that it was down, and basically didn't have any idea. So just check back later. I'm like, no.
Well, normally I will message her the link.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I just emailed it to her instead, and that's fine. But it was just weird that Facebook, everything's a little weird lately. Don't know what it is.
Yeah, I go to log on to my laptop, and I have to basically log into Gmail. I've got everything programmed in there from work, so it's just weird. My phone wasn't ringing when he tried to call it when I couldn't find it.
You know, that was weird.
Just weird shit.
I
Jen,
couldn't find a phone, but it was sitting right on the table here, and I'm calling it,
it's not ringing.
but it was Messenger, so it couldn't have been going through.
But what's weird is I got the
Missed call.
notification for missed call, and I got the notification for even the link for StreamYard, but yeah, it wouldn't ring. Anyways.
Mhm. Messenger, what did he say? Messenger, you have to okay. All right, there's something wrong because I can't even put up messages. There it is.
There's a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay or something's going on, guys, because like it took me a minute just to click on that and click.
Let me get off my phone. I'm gonna take Wi-Fi off. Just run my.
Greg, Raging Cajun, what's up, man?
Let's see if that helps any. TV is off.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it
Yeah.
would suddenly do that. Well, still post the link, so you guys know what to do with that. Jim, what's happening?
Our TV, smart TV, go to turn it on this evening, and it said that we just got an update, or
The TV got an update.
yeah, which is weird because I had this TV for a while now, and that's the first time I've ever seen that.
In 2 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
I haven't seen an update.
No,
They're bugging us, I'm telling you.
they're tracking us all.
They've been doing that.
I know. Oh, God knows.
Christy says, I'm in my PJs or I would jump up there. That's all right.
Well, see, there's this thing you can do. Just saying.
What's up, David?
Not much. How's it going?
It's going good, man. What are you up to?
Yeah. Trying to nurse my wife back to health. She fell a few days ago, and
Oh no.
she hit her chest on the nightstand and hit flat of her head and her knee on the floor, and it's concrete floor here where we live. And she had to have some blood drawn off her knee yesterday. It was real swelled up. I mean, big time.
Oh no.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she's been resting, having it propped up, trying to stay off of it as much as possible. Hoping she gets better. Me and Tech's been talking about getting another show up together and doing some fact or fiction on Aunt Jenny Johnson. So we're going to try to head down to Bankhead either this weekend or maybe sometime next week and go down and do some video in the graveyard, the old home site, and the church and everything. So get that ready.
Everybody in chat.
Prayers to your wife.
Everybody's in chat is saying the same
Yeah.
prayers.
What's up? Oh, prayers. Yeah, thank y'all. Very appreciated.
And we're Bankhead is in Alabama.
Yeah,
That's
it's Winston and Lawrence County mostly. A little bit over towards Walker County. Smith Lake, humongous, you know. But where I'm going, we're going to go in on the Franklin County side. Be the quickest way to get to Aunt Jenny Johnson's. You can go in from the Winston County side, but it's just a little longer drive. We're going to be going off on County Road 93 up there in Franklin County going in.
Jeff Yarrington says that's near Greg House. From, Woodwalkers.
It's funny because there's a place near there called Booger Tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's down there in Delmer. Yeah, that's
just
that
east.
is actually an old hanging tree. That's where they used to hang people during the slavery and the Civil War. Its limbs still have the markings of where the ropes stayed tied so long.
Yeah.
I've been down there twice in my whole life. I got stuck the last time I was down there. I run my truck off in the ditch trying to turn around.
Man, there's
But
got to
anyway,
be
yeah.
weird energy down there. That's just like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Booger Tree is a pretty awesome place. I mean, both times we went at night, and it's pretty spooky, to be around down there.
that's interesting.
Yeah, even Robert Dundivan, hi, by the way, said, isn't Bankhead next to Greg House Man Cave?
Next to what?
Greg House, his man cave.
Bama Murdoch, that's the one place he said that there should be the next outing, like as far as a camp out with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where actually I saw my first 8 Bigfoot sightings was out there in Bankhead. The one I almost run over, and then the other 7 sightings. But the last one, the 9th one, was up in just outside of Littleville. It's up there in Colbert Heights community. But that place has a lot of history with the Civil War and all. Both sides, the Union and the Confederates, both went through there, and the sons of the Confederate, they went through, and also the daughters of the Confederate, they went through the records, and they actually went out and found 3 of the skirmish sites between the North and the South.
Oh wow!
Again, imagine the energy.
No, that's why like Gettysburg
There's
is so
a lot
haunted.
of history.
Yeah.
It's just such trauma and
Devastation.
emotion.
Yeah.
Oh, forget it.
Well, see, there's several different accounts on Aunt Jenny Johnson, that she killed the Confederates and the Unions, which is true. But, there's people saying that she used their skulls for soap dishes and bowls and stuff like that. And I really don't think that's true, because right in the end of her life, she gave some of her property right across the road to some people, and they built a church there, which the church is all fell in now. I think just about 3 of the walls is left standing, no Macedonia church. But she was a pretty mean person after everything happened to her and her kids,
Sure.
But it also stretched out and went all the way out to Oklahoma, back in those days.
That's interesting history,
Yeah.
You're more familiar with it, like about this because you're from the area. Like I couldn't like tell you where there was a skirmish or it's just I feel like I don't know enough.
Yeah. Well, the way they proved it was there was some old growth timber down there, and they actually found musket balls in the trees. So yeah, they used the metal detectors to find those and all, and dug them out and found them. They dated back to the Civil War, and then I think they wound up finding a few grave sites in there too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Back then, but whenever I hunted just off of Clayton Farm Road down there, it actually just done a loop back up to Beulah Church. There was a creek down there. Everybody loved to go down there 4-wheel drive and just ride up and down the creek. And they finally put a stop to it and barricaded the road off because there were so many people going down there in 2-wheel drives and getting stuck.
Oh yeah.
They got tired of going down and pulling them out and everything. So, but anyway, if you went on the Clayton Farm side, just down there at the first huge curve, You go back there behind that property, and I guess it's probably 300 foot off the road. I used to hunt back in there, and I found a whole bunch of stones stacked up like graves, one right after another. I went back, I asked the guy about it, but they had already went through and cut the timber out, and I reckon the skidders had already ran over the grave sites and everything, cleared everything out. So he never did find what I was talking about. And we went back down there together. But, you know, if we would have took metal detectors down, I believe we could find stuff to prove that I'm right about them being graves down there.
Abnormal Investigations, what's up? Yeah, when I lived in Jersey, I lived in Newfoundland, New Jersey for a while, and just down the train tracks, you would never know it was there. You know, you could walk down the train tracks, and about 2 miles down, there's a reservoir, but along those tracks, between the highway and the tracks, and in the woods, is an old Civil War cemetery. And you'd never know it was there. Nobody, you know, once in a while, somebody will go through and put flags in, but they don't maintain it. They don't. We stumbled upon it. We were like, what the hell? We started looking at dates, and you know, like it was just crazy.
Well, you know, I grew up there right across from a farm, and back whenever I was real young, 6, 7, 8 years old, and I always noticed this one white tombstone out in the middle of this pasture, and it took me all these years to finally get the gumption up. I knew the family real well, and me and the oldest son-in-law was out airhead hunting, and I said, just for the fun of it, I said, pull in here and let's go talk to these people and see if we can go out there to that white tombstone. And they gave us permission. We walked out there. Sure enough, it was a Confederate soldier's tombstone. He's out there buried by himself in the middle of a pasture.
Oh, wow.
Up in a tree line. You couldn't see it very well from during the summertime because all the shrub grew up, you know, the undergrowth. But during the winter, you could really see it. It stood out.
What's up, Danny?
Richie.
Hey, Richie.
Richie.
We're gonna be showing some more history down there as well. I'm probably gonna be posting a lot of pictures in the community page for our channel while we're down there. There is a monument down there that is dedicated to soldiers and everything. That's pretty neat.
Right on. Yeah, you know, record that history before somebody friggin' tries to change it.
Yeah.
Well, they're always taking down monuments or whatever. They're trying to erase the history, and it's just ridiculous.
Well, thank God we still got our monument up here in front of Colbert County's courthouse, you know. But, you know, that was just crazy. People wanting to take those statues down and all, you know. That would, to me, they have just as much right up as leaving the slave cabins standing, you know. Because
everything, if it was put up for a reason,
yeah,
you know, just because it's, you know,
Someone doesn't agree.
it's not the North versus the South anymore. It's now it's, you know, I think we've learned from our mistakes, I hope. And, you know, you learn from, you know, you recognize the history. You don't try to get rid of it.
There's a thing that you're not being told about the Civil War. It was not all about the slavery, though. I mean, it was more money grab.
Oh, sure.
The South was getting rich off the cotton, and we were transporting our own cotton through our riverboats and everything, and we wasn't dealing with the North that much, so they wasn't making no money off of it. And that's another reason, you know, they figured if they could abolish slavery, they would knock it in the head, you know, and then they would start being able to get land grabs down here, take over, and then they would start getting all the industries going again up there. And so that was more of a land grab deal from the North than it was about the slavery.
What's up, Blackie? Yeah, I'm a little ignorant to some of our American history.
Well, riddle me this. California never had a slave. They was not in the Civil War at all, but yet their governor is trying to give
Reciprocity.
people. Yeah, I mean they're trying to pay people stuff for slavery, and they never had slaves, and they're trying to pay people for the Civil War. They never got never had a Civil War.
California.
Yeah, I mean it's just something there to waste your money on.
Oh, yeah. That state is just screwed up. Their governor's screwed up. They're
They're going through a lot.
Yep.
And they are going through a lot, as far as the fires and just the bullshit, Feel sorry for Californians.
Yeah. Russia just found out they got 100 tons of gold missing out of their reserve, and we just now figured out we got 400 tons. No, excuse me. We've got 100 tons of gold missing from Fort Knox. He's got 400 tons missing in Russia.
Yeah, I haven't. I saw posts about it, but I didn't watch it. That's a lot of gold. How does that much gold just go missing?
I think it's hid somewhere. You remember back in the 70s, they opened up Fort Knox to the cameras and all, let everybody go in there and see it?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I think I remember trying to open Al Capone's vault with Geraldo Rivera more.
Yes. Right. Right.
Yeah. Interesting childhoods we went through.
Indeed.
Yeah, me and Tech just had that one show about the mafia and Jimmy Hoffa and all. It's a pretty good show.
I don't get into the
Crime.
serial killers and the crime and all that. I don't think it deserves any.
Well, Jimmy Hoffa's death actually had a tie-in with Bankhead Forest too, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, McNeil Lehrer News Hour on PBS. I still can't find that one newscast that they broadcast, but he had the Mafia Don sitting there with him on stage, and he asked him straight out. He said, "If you was going to kill somebody and get away with it, where would you dispose of the body?" He said, "I would take and dump them in Bankhead National Forest." He said, "Why there?" And he said, "Because there's so many thousands of acres there, and you got to look, there's not been a human footprint on there. Probably not even the Indians have walked it off, And that kind of dawned on me because that was at that same time they were looking for Hoffa real good, and some say the dogs found him underneath Milwaukee Stadium, Yeah.
Giant Stadium.
Giant Stadium.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let them dig it up. Yeah, it was a bunch of mess, but then they found him up there in a storage unit, and that was a lie. But,
No, it's interesting, but I just like, as far as, I don't know, the whole serial killer thing that he does, I just can't watch. I can't.
yeah. Well, that's true. A lot of people don't get into the serial killers and the crimes and stuff like that, true crime, stuff like that, but some of it's pretty interesting.
Would that get us more people? With doing what?
I think they're back there talking. I mean, they're
No,
talking.
I'm just curious.
Sharon's
never heard a Chewbacca sound.
I guess that was on from last night's show.
Okay.
It's a conversation from them.
Yeah.
Chat.
Oh.
Chat.
Yeah, this Super Bowl had me mixed up because the first Super Bowl was January 15th of 1967, and I was born December of 67, and I was, I forgot about it's actually a year ahead of me. And because the first Super Bowl would have been played before I was born.
About
So
11 months. 11,
Super
yeah.
yeah, Super Bowl number 2 would have been played right after I turned 1. But then I got thinking, hey, they're on Super Bowl 59. I'm still stuck at 57. How'd they do that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Seems like they jumped 2 years ahead of me now.
Yeah, it was November of 67.
My earliest memories is probably 72. And that was whenever I was 5 years old. But everything started clicking and started being a lot of fun right at that era. We had TG.
I have memories that go back earlier than that.
Yeah, we had
3, 2, 3. Yeah.
I've had a couple of memories from that early, but
WTF Mike said it, and that's what I was thinking. Leap years? I don't know. Maybe.
No, because that would just. No.
But that was my thought too.
I can remember a little earlier, probably 70, 71, something like that. Dad took us all out on the front porch at daylight because he was getting ready to go to work. And we lived right there where you entered Bankhead Forest. And there was a cornfield across the road from us and a cornfield on each side of the house. And even behind the house, we pretty much lived up there on the side of the road, in front of the cornfield. And there was I would say close to 400 or 500 deer out there on both sides of the road, and it was just a humongous herd. And that was the largest herd I still have yet to see another herd like that.
That's a big herd.
Yeah.
I remember out in Arizona, my dad and I were, where the hell were we? We're up on the, I guess it would be considered the Mogollon Rim or closer to Flagstaff, but we were up in the mountains and we came around this corner and we're in this side by side and we're in this huge field and there's a herd of elk here, and then maybe 50 yards away from that there was a herd of pronghorn antelope.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Like, look at this.
Oh shit.
It was crazy. I've seen some, 100, 200 elk herd, elks in a herd. Elks, is that?
Elk.
Yeah, I seen on the news today. I don't know whether I don't know. Usually that Google News will show you stuff, and it's from back a while back. But I saw in the news where Gene Hackman, his wife, and his dog was all found in the house dead.
Yeah, I saw that. I just saw the.
I don't remember when it was. I didn't look at the date on it. I was wondering whether it was new news or old news.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the thing was, the door was standing open, and the other 2 dogs was running back and forth inside, outside. So they ruled out gas leak and carbon monoxide. So they still don't know.
Huh. Well, he was 95 years old, I think. Something
like that.
Yeah, I think he was up there.
The one movie I liked him on besides Superman, he played Lex Luthor in Superman, but he played with Will Smith in that one movie. And Will Smith had to go in and use the phone to call his wife and let her know where he was at. And then they were riding down the road away from it, and the building blowed up. And Will looked over at Gene. He said, "The building just blew up." He said, "I know, you used the phone." That was one of the best moments in that whole movie, I guess.
I think I know the movie. I don't know the name of it, but I think I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That sounds really familiar.
You remember the movie with the helicopter where that guy had it, and he had the camera going, and he had like X-ray vision where he could see through the wall, and then he flipped the microphone on and he could listen to them, what they were saying on the inside of the building. I forgot the name of that movie, but
that was Thunder, what the fuck was it? I know you're talking about.
I remember the movie real well, but I just can't remember the name.
Roy Schreider played the, I think, pilot.
Yeah. Anyway, they were showing
Blue Thunder.
Alabama. Yeah, they were showing that Alabama was getting the AI cameras set up on the highways down here, and they said, you know, speeding's not the only thing they're going to catch you at. They can actually see inside the car, whether you're wearing a seatbelt, what you got in the glove box, what's in the trunk, what's packed in there, you know. And I was like, man, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. There is no privacy. It's amazing, you know, you watch all these videos of people getting pulled over and these people just refusing to give ID and refusing to cooperate and refusing to, I mean, yeah, some of these cops are assholes. I get it, but not all of them.
No, there's a lot out there really doing their job. They're just trying to make it safe back home to their families. But there's some out there that just are, like you said, total assholes. They don't care, and they're going to jam you up one way or another.
Yep. And it's a shame, you know. I come from a family of cops, and I've seen good cops. I've seen bad cops. I've seen it all. It's unfortunate. But now you got people that are like, they call them auditors. They're auditing the police. So they film every interaction, or they actually go out there and they antagonize them. You know, just to get views, just to get, you know, video.
Yeah, I mean, that's like people harassing the cops, you know, they got their body cam on, and yet they want to stand there and videotape something there, and the cop says, you know, cut the videotape off. Well, you got yours on recording me. Why can't I record you? Well, you know, it's their business. They've got to, so that they got proof of what they're doing, you know. But you're just out there trying to I mean, they're just out there trying to make a YouTube or a TikTok video.
Exactly.
And they're trying to save their job, you know, in case somebody lies on them. They got it on body cam.
You know, I see it a lot people get mad when you film them.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, I try not to film people, but sometimes, you know, I'm down at the dock or see something stupid or suspicious or whatever, and I'm like, I'm filming.
Yeah, we were downtown Tuscumbia shooting videos, putting it on the channel for the first Saturday sales. You know, they got all the vendors out on the streets, and they have stuff for the kids to do and all this. Well, I was just walking through videotaping it, and we was going to put it on our channel, and no sooner as I got it on there, I got hit with a copyright infringement. And because they had singers out there singing at one of the intersections, and evidently I had walked all the way through, and it picked up every bit of the song, and they got the copyright infringement.
Yeah, like I have video from, we went to last week. We went to a concert. Jody Messina was here in town, or just across the way, and you know, I recorded some of that. I'd like to play, but you know, I don't want to get a strike.
Yeah, well, she comes here a lot. She plays down at the park a lot down here, or out at the yeah. There's quite a few singers from here. They usually have a concert there at the Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame, Maryland 72, or down at the park in Sheffield. They used to have them. They still got the benches there. Why they quit, I don't know. At Sheffield, at the river, they used to have good concerts down there, but I hadn't heard of one in a while.
Yeah, last year they had Tracy Bird over here. That was our first. This is only our second George Fest. It's the largest President's Day or George Washington's birthday celebration. It's a week long.
Yeah.
And they have a fair, and over on like this weekend at where I work. I work in Tavares, however you want to pronounce it. And this weekend they're having a barbecue. Tavares is considered the seaplane capital of whatever.
Yeah.
So they're having like plane demonstrations, water skiers, a barbecue, music. They're having this big event. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, did I mention it the other day? I don't know. Yeah, I went into work and we had a plane crash at work. A little seaplane went it landed hard and flipped over and yes,
Yeah.
and huge jumbo rubber ducks. Yeah, I video that too.
Oh. Now, I told her, my wife, I told her, I said, we've been missing out on a lot of stuff around here and all. And as soon as you get well, we're going to hit the road and start doing some filming this year because we've been putting everything off. It's either we've had dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, IVIG, something other happening all the time, or me or her one really don't feel good. We went through a lot of sicknesses in the last 2 years.
Sure.
So hopefully if we can stay healthy enough, starting this weekend, maybe we're going to try to go down. I'm going to pick up the hard copy. Buford Parker, he has a magazine called The Source.
Okay.
He does a whole lot of history around the area, Franklin, Colbert, Winston, Marion, all the different counties here, and puts them in magazines. And then he gets enough information, he'll write him a hard copy. So when we go through down there, he's got his hard copy. He's actually mailing me his magazine for free of the Aunt Jenny Johnson story that he wrote. And then he's got a hard copy down there. I told him, I said, well, since you're mailing it to me for free and we're good friends, I'll go ahead and buy you a book whenever we go through. So that's only $25. That ain't bad.
She says another one. I'm assuming she means a plane crash. Yeah, there was just 2 people in it. It was a small seaplane. It landed on the lake, probably hit a wake or something, and crashed.
Yeah, that one crashed up there in Alaska, and then Motley Crue's plane crashed. What was that, Vince Neil's plane?
Yeah, there's a lot of it's still the safest way to travel. Yeah, I'll drive. Thanks.
Too many small planes crashing.
I remember when my uncle got his Cessna, and he would fly from Tupelo, Mississippi over to Haleville, pick us up, and we'd fly around Haleville. And I was scared to death up there. I mean, cars looked like little pea ants on the road. We was up so high, and I never did like heights. Once I fell off that 65-foot tower when I was a kid, I've been scared of heights ever since.
That would do it.
Well, I wasn't exactly the whole 65 foot up. I was probably 15, 18 foot up.
But still, any fall will, make you think twice.
Yeah. Well, it was more of being scared of getting a whooping for being up there because I was just high enough over the tree. I seen Dad's truck pull in the subdivision, and I didn't have enough time to get all the way down because he was really getting it home coming down that strip, coming home. And I got down to about, probably around 18 foot, and I jumped, and I landed on both my arms straight out, and it sprang both my wrists. Yeah.
That's a hell of a way to fall.
Oh yeah. Oh, I fell off of the peak of a house normal 1-story house right up on the very peak of it. I was up there putting a vent in, and I turned around to get something, but I turned around the wrong way and I fell. Needless to say, when I hit the ground, the electric drill that I was using came down and cracked me on top of the head, so that didn't make the fall no better.
No, that happened to me. I was maybe, my feet were maybe about 7 or 8 foot off the ground up the ladder, and I was I was pushing up it's called a swamp cooler, and it's bigger than a washing machine, and it's used for cooling, and it's just a pump and a motor in it, a fan, and we had it on ropes and shit. My dad was helping me, and I was underneath it holding it up, and then a rope broke, and then the other rope broke, and I couldn't hold it, so I kind of pushed up and jumped off the ladder. And I landed, but then the thing landed on top of me. So I know what you mean. You hit the ground and then something else falls on top of you. It's like, what the fuck?
I was down in Birmingham helping shingle a house, and this thing was humongous. I mean, we took a 40-foot extension ladder and leaned it up against the eave of the house, and it barely caught hold to the eave of the house. And here come 3 bundles of shingles over my shoulder. Get on up there. And here I am taking this 3 bundles of shingles up, and I'm so nervous, the ladder's just shaking like crazy, and you can hear it just click, 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 click up against the eave of that house. And they said, you keep on shaking like that, you just gonna knock it off the eave and you're gonna fall. And we got up to the top of the house, and then finally they said, let's go up here to the peak. We went up to the peak, and they had dug out for the basement on the bottom. And, you're like 60 foot off the ground, I guess, on the peak side to the flat ground. But you look off on the back side, and you got another, 10 foot down, so that didn't make my job any easier. I made sure I stayed in the valleys. I let everybody else do the flat.
Anita, good to see you. Hey, Chris. Yeah, dude, I get that, like being up on a ladder and get those shakes. I was doing a gutter job in, I want to say Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And the back of this house, the back side we were using 60 foot or 40 foot, I'm trying to remember, extension ladders. And it was an easy 40 foot from the ground to the gutter. And you got 2 ladders and you're 2 people carrying this long friggin' piece of gutter. I got that ladder clicking. I was going up and it was rattling.
Now, I tell you one even funner than that is being out there on those scaffoldings, and you got a tube of 12, so you lay two tube of 6s side by side so you can have a 12-inch run so that you can walk on. And you're out there on the middle of it working on the eave of the house, and all of a sudden somebody comes bumping down through there just as hard as they can, and you're just sitting there just a bouncing, hoping you don't fall off. Yeah. I mean, the boards don't break. I mean, that's even worse. I would rather be out in the middle of the woods catching rattlesnakes or copperheads than I would to be up high.
Oh, like on a roof, you mean?
Yeah.
Or just high in general, like you don't like heights. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, heights don't bother me that much. I guess it depends on the situation. Like going up that ladder, that bothered me because it's just sketchy as hell.
Yeah.
But standing on the edge of a building, like looking over off, let's say, a 6-story building, whatever, being on the roof, looking off doesn't bother
me. Yeah, that bothers me.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
I hate it that it does. That it does. Physically, I get ill.
Although, one time I was in, I forget what it's called. It's in Minnesota. It was a theme park. It's like Wayfair or Mayfair or something like that. And they had one of those towers that it's just a tower that you go, people sit in a circle around it and they're strapped in, and it brings you up and it just drops you down. And I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. Yeah, bullshit. We started going up, and as we're going up, I'm like, oh, this was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. I started like getting really freaked out. I went to look up, and I was restrained, so I couldn't. And I was like, fuck, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea.
I went to Chicago one time and went up in the Sears Tower. As soon as I got off the elevator, I saw straight out that window and how far down it was and all. We're on the observation deck. Everybody else is running over there to the window so that they can look out, and I'm like, nope, not for me. I stayed up against the wall. I said, I can see enough right here. I wouldn't leave the wall the elevator was on.
Erica says, hey, Mogs, I used to live in the borough. Which borough?
One of my
something I said, or
I wasn't sure.
Well, no, I grew up in Point Pleasant Borough,
right?
And there was Point Pleasant Beach, so that's when somebody said borough, I'm like, what?
You have a frog gig?
No.
My worst frog gigging experience. We had the headlamps going. Yeah, we had the headlamps going, and to get across the creek, you had to take a run and jump. It's probably 4.5, 5 foot wide. And if you got a good run and go, you could jump over. Well, in my bouncing, my headlamp come undone from my battery and it went dark and I jumped too soon. And when I did, I landed astraddle in that water. And when I finally got my headlamp going, here's this water moccasin coiled up in between my feet. And I'm like, now what I do? Because I didn't have the frog gig. My buddy did behind me, and he was standing there. He said, I'll hand this to you. I said, I'm not moving.
Don't hand it to me. Use it.
Yeah, hey, that's one thing, though. I'm not scared of a rattlesnake or a copperhead. I'll snatch them things up quick as lightning, but no, I don't like messing with water moccasins.
I just let snakes be. I don't mess with them. Although moccasins, I used to see them a lot when I'd fish in Jersey in this one certain lake. They'd always come around. They'd always go after my bait. So I just started feeding them, and they left me alone. I would throw them minnows or whatever I had, the shiners.
I hate being out on a creek in a flat bottom and one fall out of a tree.
Oh. I think Mr. Haywood was out fishing. He was showing us pictures of, he's fishing, looking for a spot, and there's just this big old snake sitting in a bush next to him.
Oh, yeah.
No thanks. I've seen one snake since I've been out here. That's it.
Well, I saw the one that the bird went after.
Okay, so 2 snakes, because I saw the second one he ate too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I felt like it came back for revenge and got the snake because it looked similar. Except for the one that almost took out that bird was a lot bigger.
Val doesn't like spiders or snakes. Spiders don't bother me too much either.
Yeah, they bother me. Don't like them.
Yeah.
Guys, the link is in chat if anybody else wants to join us.
Mr. Hugh, hello.
Yeah, the first link you dropped, I was sitting there thinking, well, do I got anything I got to talk about? No.
There's always something to talk about.
No, I've got on here and I'm just talkative. Couldn't think of a thing on that first one, but finally I said, well, I can learn and find something to talk about. But no, there is a lot of history here, we've got...
Well, the Trail of Tears is there.
Trail of Tears. Well, we live right now.
I put the link to your channel in chat, so when you post your pictures on the community page, people go check it out.
Yeah. We live right here on Trail of Tears, part of it. Going back over to Landon.
We went down by the river when I was there.
Yeah, that road to nowhere is down there.
I'm just reading chat. Biggie says, I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
it kills you. It's a sudden stop.
Well, I had more fun on my helicopter ride up in the mountains than I did whenever I was a kid in the airplane. I don't know why. And you got to figure if something goes wrong with a helicopter, you're going straight down. At least if something ever happened with the airplane, you got a chance to glide in somewhere.
You hope.
Yeah, I went up
No,
on
I
top
think-
of the first time, and that was awesome.
Helicopters by design are just more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I was 10 years old and I went on a helicopter out of Miami. And I remember that. It was freaking awesome.
I was in the Army first time I went up, and it was training, nighttime tactical training with the Air National Guard. We had fed them for the day. Well, actually, for that whole week. And they were getting ready to leave the next morning and said, "Hey, we're going out. You want to go up?" It's like, "Oh, hell yeah." A couple of us went up and, sitting on the side seat so that you're strapped in like just over the shoulder strap, and the door is open. There's really no door there. They're going up, and we're up there. I don't know how high. It was high. It's pitch black down below. We're over the forest. I think this was over by Fort Lee in Virginia. And yeah, it was. Sorry, I had to think of it. It's been so long. I had to
Fort
think
Lee
about
in
it.
New Jersey, too.
No, not Fort Lee. No, yeah, it was Fort Lee in Virginia. I don't know if it's still there or not. It was a training base. But
No,
anyways,
it's a town.
So they have us hovering, and we're waiting and expecting some fun, and we're kind of talking shit with the pilot, and they're like, all right, talk shit. All of a sudden they bank hard to the right, and I'm like, ah. I lost my voice for 3 days after that, but it was fun. That was a blast. Yeah, we went low line and through the forest road down there, and
Karen,
it was
Karen,
cool.
it's Head and Shoulders 2-in-1.
What?
Conditioner included. 2-in-1. What flavor was it? Usually I use tea tree oil,
It is the tea tree oil.
This one is the it's either coconut or
I tell him all the time I hate his hair.
something.
Hey, have y'all seen any of those pygmy rattlesnakes yet in y'all's area?
No, I mean we don't see too many
No.
snakes around here.
I know whenever we lived in South Alabama, right there on the Florida line, I've seen like 3 or 4 of them while we were down there. And the guy that lived in the neighborhood my aunt lived in at that time, he went out and caught rattlers and copperheads and stuff like that and milked them, and he sold the venom. And I hung out with him a lot down there while we were visiting, and I guess that's where I learned how to handle those poisonous snakes, and it made me less scared of them. I was always out in the woods around the snakes, but up until I was about 12 years old, I would not dare try to catch a poisonous snake. I had to know they wasn't poisonous so I could catch them and play with them, stuff like that.
Sure.
Mom, actually, she got mad at me. She saved her old fruit jars for canning, stuff like that. Well, she had a gallon jar, and it was solid glass. And me and one of my neighbors had went down to the dead end, and we found a ring snake, a whole bunch of baby ones, and I put them all in that jar and went back and I set them on the kitchen table. And Mom come home, man, you talking about pitching a fit. She did not like them snakes in the middle of her table.
Were they ringnecks? Like with the red ring around them?
Yeah, the ringnecks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Even in Arizona, I only saw in 12 years, I saw maybe 3 or 4 rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Scorpions, tarantulas, that's another story.
I've seen more velvet tails and timber rattlers around here more than I have the eastern diamondback. I think they're pretty much getting rare to see, the eastern diamondback.
Yeah. I know we have them down here, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Karen, tea tree makes your head tingle if you let it sit for a minute.
It does.
What am I using?
It
It's
feels good.
I don't know if it's coconut or something else, but yeah, it's soft.
It is. I hate this hair. I tell him all the time. Fucker.
You can't help it.
I know.
You talking about shampoos?
What?
You talking about shampoos or something?
Talking about his hair.
Somebody had made a comment about my hair and what shampoo and.
Oh, yeah, my wife tricked me. I've got a bunch of gray in my hair, and she had that purple shampoo that brings out the highlights and everything. She said, "Wash your hair in that." Man, my gray hair really shine.
Like, dang.
It brought out the highlights.
Yeah,
Trying to cover them up. Thanks.
it's got that toner in it, so whenever you bleach your hair and all, it makes it brighter.
Okay. Yeah, I've never.
I've never colored
Colored.
my hair.
I remember I was like
Oh,
15 and I
never
put lemon juice in my hair once just to lighten it.
Yeah, I've never put any color on my hair before. I always talked about doing it, but
Well, we were out of any other shampoo, and I had to use it.
Let me just put the link. Okay, here. Guys, link is in chat. We still have about 50. Well, we got an hour
about
left.
an hour. Yeah, just about.
Anybody wants to pop on?
Yeah,
Click on the link. Just if you don't want to be on camera, you can hit stop camera. You don't have to be on camera. Also, just when you come on, turn off YouTube in the background so we don't get that feedback. Pretty simple.
It is.
So it's been in the 70s here in Louisiana. Hope y'all get warmer weather soon.
I think it got up to 80 today.
Yeah, it was. And it's supposed to be warmer tomorrow, I think.
I think for the next few days.
I think it's supposed to be back up in the 70s here. But then we got a little cold snap coming back through.
I want to know who's fucking with the weather.
I know, right?
It's not normal. February and you know they're having 60-degree days up in Detroit.
I've had my guitar out trying to learn how to play some songs again.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I miss playing them, man. I used to know 2 or 3 songs on my guitar and banjo, and had a harmonica once. I could do that train. I could really do that. But
no hair required, Jim.
No.
Just no pants required. Just no. Yeah.
No.
well, actually, you don't even need a harmonica to make the harmonica sound. You could make your hands just like you got a harmonica in your mouth and hum real loud. It all about the same.
It'll have a comb and a piece of wax paper on it too. Yeah, I'm just checking weather real quick.
Yeah, Dad was doing an auction down at the old schoolhouse once, and I didn't know the microphone was on, and the curtain was drawn. It was up on the stage, and whenever he got ready to do the auction, he would pull the curtains open and then start off the auction from there. Well, I didn't know the microphone was on, and I got up there and I started saying, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog." And then about that time, I heard my voice come across there. I stuck my head out to see if there was anybody out there, and this one old lady was out there in the audience. She went to clap and she said, "Sing some more, sing some more." I was like, "Oh my God."
Oops.
Yeah. I guess I was 8 or 9 years old. Well, you're talking about a red face now. My face was red.
Only about 52 degrees Fahrenheit, Mogs, and that's Robert Denduve, and he's up Detroit area. High only will be 25 Saturday. Yeah, that's how everybody gets sick. You know, those fluctuations. You get, oh, it's nice out when you're out there in a t-shirt and you should still be bundled up.
I'm not ready for the heat.
No,
Not at all.
we keep saying that.
Well, it was upper
Protesting.
60s here today, but it was still a chill in the air today.
It got warm here early. I mean, as soon as the sun came out, it got a little muggy, a little humid. I felt the humidity today.
I can tell what kind of day it's going to be when by 9 o'clock. When I walk into my Florida room, if it's hot in there, it's going to be a shitty day. It's going to be a hot day.
Yeah, I can tell kind of what kind of day it's going to be when I leave the house in the morning looking across the lake. Just the volume of light coming across. The other morning what was it, Tuesday? When it was rainy, it looked so black and ominous. I'm like, oh, this ain't going to be good. It ended up being rainy off and on all day.
Ben, what's happening, buddy?
What's up, Ben?
He left me a message before and I didn't listen because we were already on
You're on
here.
the show. I know.
I wish John would come in here. John who?
Who's John? I want to know.
It's like, John.
I know.
Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding.
Sharon says, I'm ready for my yard to dry out. I want to get on my tractor.
I'm ready for the back to dry out. But now's the rainy season coming right outside the back here. Gets a little muddy.
We had grass, but we're back there so
all
much
the
that
time.
we've
We
just
shred right through it.
demolished it.
Yeah.
It's dirt and sand, and
When
it gets a little wet and it's mud.
slick. I mean, real slick.
You know, when we lived in South Alabama, there was a little canal that ran in the backyard, just past the fence. And our house, the back end of the house was up high compared to the front, but anyway, every time it would rain, everything, you'd find these little crawdad holes out there. And this old man next door to us, he come out there one day and handed me the smallest hook he had some fishing line tied to it, and put a little slither of bacon on it. And he said, drop that down in that hole. And I dropped it down in there, and I felt something there moving on it, and I'd pull it up, and the crawdad would grab a hold of it and start eating my bacon, and he would not let it go when he started pulling it up. He'd have it with a dog. That was the funnest thing I ever learned while I was a kid, was learning how to crawdad fish. I thought that was amazing whenever I was that young. I'd never thought about something like that.
I was in Mississippi and I stayed at somebody's house and I just spent the night, but traveling there, from Baton Rouge to Mississippi where I went, it was just brutal rain. I mean, it was terrible. Got to her house and still it was raining. Next day I get up and I look in the yard and there's all these little mounds. And I'm thinking, because I just came from Arizona, we had gophers. And I'm like, how could there be this many gophers in the yard? This is ridiculous. Turns out they were crayfish mounds.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Get the hell out of here. Sure as shit, that's what they were.
The boss man had the foreman at the plant where I worked at, he had a service trip coming up. And he told me, he said, I want you to go with us. So we rode over and I forgot whether it's Shreveport or whether it was Baton Rouge. But anyway, we stopped in somewhere along through there at this little shack on the side of the road. And the sign said, fresh beer, ice cold fresh beer, and all you can eat crawdads. And I was like, hey man, that sounds good. We walked in there. There was a bar, and we walked in, stopped at the bar, told him, said, I want a beer. And said, well, you can get all you can eat crawdad for so much money. I said, okay. I said, sounds good. I said, give me a plate. This little old woman was sitting at the end of the bar, and she was shucking those things and throwing them on the plate faster than we could eat them. And I was like waiting on them to come from the kitchen or somewhere, but she was over there shucking them and throwing them on your plate. And there was three of us, and she was piling our plates full. I mean, we couldn't eat them fast enough to keep up with her. Now that was the first time I'd ever had a meal like that.
Talking about people not hitting the like for the show. Thumbs up for the show.
Or Stevie will get you.
Yeah. I haven't even hit the like yet.
You know the get type.
I do at the end.
No, I mean
no. No. That's why
I still yet to eat some gator meat.
Say that again.
I said I have still yet to eat some gator meat.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. You gotta.
Gator's different. It's good.
I've ate turtle. I've ate turtle. You get 7 different flavors of meat off of a turtle.
Yeah, I don't think I've had turtle.
I've never had turtle.
No.
Yeah, they're
I
delicious.
can have all I want if I wanted,
Right.
But, I wouldn't know what to do with the damn thing.
They're too cute.
They say to boil the turtle until they turn white, and then they're ready to eat. I don't know. But it's delicious meat either way. I like frog legs.
John is his big brother.
John, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
And apparently Harold's a serious one.
Yeah, we used to go down to Bay Minette and get our shrimp and bring them back up here and sell them.
Sharon says if you're from Louisiana, you better know how to shuck crawfish. We teach our children how to at 3 years old. Start them young.
Yeah.
Val says, heck, I haven't even tried gumbo yet. Damn, girl. What is Val? I'm going to get hit right now, but Val will never come back. There's some names that I couldn't tell you. It's got that.
It's a woman.
It's that name.
Something bit me.
Gary, no, what mercy.
Oh, my leg.
Can't have shrimp in it.
Wait, what?
Probably gets gout or something. He says he loves gumbo, but he can't have shrimp
He
in
might
it.
be allergic to shellfish. Maybe.
Well, I used to eat clams like it was going out of style, but ever since I was a teenager, I laid down on the ground trying to straighten up the guy's pump house. I laid down in an ant bed, and whenever I raised up, they were just eating my back alive. I mean, there was blisters all up and down it. But ever since then, whenever I eat clams, it causes me to have hives now.
That's odd.
Val said, "Yep, girl, old girl."
Yeah, it is. But I can eat shrimp and oyster and stuff like that, just not the clams.
Thank God I've never had an allergic reaction to seafood.
Well, that's the only one I have an allergic reaction to. I can eat all the rest of it, but just if I eat any clam whatsoever, I break out in hives.
Huh.
I was pregnant with my youngest, Cecilia, and I couldn't eat blue crabs. Tore up my stomach. Just kind of how like peanut butter does now. That's I was so devastated. I think I ate them after I had her. I ate them once after that, knowing I was gonna suffer, but I had to. I had to. But I'm okay with it now. It's just maybe it was during the pregnancy.
When is the Crab Fest? When is that?
The Palatka?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think March.
Yeah.
I think.
I know they got a Strawberry Festival coming up.
Yeah, Strawberry
weekend.
Festival's huge. Well, so is the Blue Crab.
Christy says 37 in chat, or 37 watching actually, and only 30 likes. Hit it, knuckleheads.
Well, the Strawberry Festival here in Russell is going to be August the 19th, I believe, somewhere in that area. Whatever that weekend falls on. It's usually around the 19th. I remember whenever I was a kid, though, we used to travel up to Tennessee to the Strawberry Festivals up there. And they seemed like they were a whole lot more fun up in Tennessee than they were around here.
Wonder why. just because they were in Tennessee and you had
Oh,
to travel to them?
It's May
Yeah,
for
probably.
Blue Crab Festival, 23rd through 25th, 3-day festival.
What about Strawberry Festival? That's coming up
Oh,
like
wow.
this next weekend. This weekend.
Soon.
I know Bike Week, Daytona Bike Week, that starts probably this weekend, today, tomorrow, something like that.
Yeah, as soon as it starts warming up, they'll have stuff going on down at Rattlesnake Tavern.
February 27th through March 9th is a Strawberry Festival. Plant City.
So
It's
that's
in Plant City.
today.
February 20th. Oh, yeah,
That's
right.
today.
Shit, I keep forgetting Saturday is the 1st.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's the only thing leap year does is it puts the extra day in February.
That's weird. Who's going to be there this year? They usually have some pretty good entertainment. About to see.
Shit, Strawberry Festival.
I'm about to see.
I don't recall. I did. I heard who was going to be performing, but I don't know.
Yep.
Pizza.
Entertainment.
Yeah, like my ex-wife, she got her last pregnancy. Not mine. Not my kid. She couldn't eat peppers. I think peppers and onions, or there was something she couldn't eat anymore. And then finally, her son was like 10 by now, and she was like, one day she said, "Fuck it," and she just ate all this stuff, and she didn't have a reaction to it. It was weird.
Yeah. This is so weird how they have this.
What?
Aaron Tippin, Sammy Kershaw, and Colin Ray, Nate Smith, Strawberry Festival. Reba will be there. Reba
Sounds like
McEntire.
Good lineup. Good 90s lineup.
Um,
Aaron Tippin.
yeah, right.
You know, whenever we was growing up, in our generations, we had the real cast iron toys. You know, the real metal Hot Wheels instead of the plastic
Sure.
ones, and we had the metal Tonka trucks instead of the plastic ones. I mean, we had a lot of stuff that's banned today, though. I mean, they wouldn't sell it to you if their life depended on it. But
Nah.
it was okay for us to play with it while we was kids.
The Bellamy Brothers. Wow. Leonard Skinner's going to be there.
At the Strawberry Festival?
March 5th, yeah. Each night they have different shows. Skinner's going to be there Wednesday, March 5th, 7:30 p.m. $70 a ticket.
Oh.
Yep.
$70.
Oak Ridge Boys, March 6th at 3:30.
Saw them in concert before.
Boys are going to be there.
The Beach Boys, really?
March 7th, yeah, Friday.
I wonder, is Brian Wilson going to be with them?
I don't know. Didn't say.
That was one of the best concerts I ever saw. Was Brian Wilson, because he owned all the, he wrote most of everything for the Beach Boys. And
Absolutely. Oh, I was such a
Saw
fan.
Hank Jr. I saw Hank Jr. in Birmingham, and I saw Tim McGraw and Tupelo. The Oak Ridge Boys, I actually saw them here in Tuscumbia,
nice.
along with Joe DiMassina and a bunch more.
Saw Leonard Skinner once. What else?
I actually had tickets to go see Leonard Skinner in concert, and a friend of a friend gave them to me, and I was like, I'm too young, who am I going to go with? So I wound up giving them away. Now I really kicked myself in the butt for that.
Yeah, they put on a good show. They have so many classic songs that it's just fucking awesome. You forget about some of them, and all of a sudden they get into those first couple notes, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about this
Right.
Yep, most times all it takes is hearing that opening line.
Harold says, I saw the Oak Ridge Boys perform here in Oklahoma a few years ago. Guys, that link is still available.
Yeah, somebody else can jump on here. I'm fixing to get off.
It's like, get me out of here.
I've wasted enough of y'all's time.
Oh, not at all.
Anyway,
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Stop that.
It's never wasted time when you're having fun.
That's
But
right.
anyway,
Well, it was good to talk to you, David.
Sawyer
yeah,
Brown's
that too.
Saturday, March 8th.
Sawyer Brown?
Yeah, $40 a ticket.
That would be a
Oh.
good show.
Yeah, that would. John Fogerty's going to be there.
Mhm.
No, I'm just saying, reading off the list. And there's a lot of others, like R&B and.
All right, David.
All right, y'all take care. We'll see
We'll
you.
talk to you soon.
Good to see you, David.
Absolutely good to see you.
Prayers for the missus.
Yeah, I hope your wife feels better.
Yeah, definitely.
That sounds like a good lineup.
Yeah. Oh, but it's each show is, I mean, every night is a different show.
I know. That's
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's so many more. I just named off.
how long is this
Sarah
festival?
Evans
A week?
from the 27th to the 9th, I believe.
Oh wow, it's a long.
And they do shows like midday. I think the one of those I read off was like 3:30 in the afternoon on a
I
Friday.
tried to make a roast with potatoes and carrots. It was yucky. I was bummed. How do
Nate-
you screw up a roast?
Nate Smith is going
I'm
to be
just
there.
kidding. Sorry.
Caucasian, how you doing?
What's up, man? Good to see you.
I'd love to see Reba.
Danny said he went to Skinner's last concert in Greenville, South Carolina, 3 days before. Well, you know, the plane crash.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Reba. She's the most expensive ticket on the lineup. $100.
For
Reba McEntire.
$100?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
The lowest of any of the entertainers is 40.
That's Sawyer Brown.
Let me see. I didn't even look. Gotta scroll. Like Boyz II Men is gonna be there. Sarah Evans.
That's a hell of a lineup. I mean, that's a long festival.
Jimmy Fortune.
Never heard of him.
That's Oak Ridge Boys is 40. Beach Boys 45. Sawyer Brown is 40. You're right.
Sawyer Brown, excellent band.
Oh,
they had
absolutely.
so many good hits.
John Fogerty, I think, is the second highest ticket, $75.
But Reba's the top.
$100.
I'd go see Reba.
I would too.
I'd like to see her.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
That woman has got such an amazing voice.
And personality.
Yeah,
You
when
know?
you look at her acting, on Reba, and it's just funny.
I love that show. As silly as it is.
Harold says my mom and dad met Reba and her mom once. She was going into Walmart.
Oh wow.
No, I'm pretty sure she's got a place in somewhere outside of Nashville. Brentwood? No, I forget. Anita, can you eat seafood because it's a light meat, like boiled crab, shrimp, fish? Right on. Karen says, I've seen Leonard Skinner a few times. I enjoyed them. I saw Reba at Cheyenne Frontier Days 27 years ago. Damn.
Wow.
And the Judds, Brooks and Dunn, and others. It was fun. Some we saw at their Greeley Stampede.
That's cool.
I've been to one of those big concerts, like an all-day event. It was George Fest but it was in Washington, D.C. George Strait Fest.
So that Friday, February 28th, Roots and Boots with Aaron Tippin, Sammy Kershaw, and Colin Ray.
It's tomorrow.
That's $45 at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Shit, I know I got a boat going out.
I won't be able to leave. I wouldn't be able to leave work until 3. By the time we got there, we'd be done. Oh, Reba's tomorrow night, 7:30.
Harold's. Gary says Harold. I went to school with Reba. LOL.
Reba's tomorrow night at 7:30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where is this?
Plant City. It's
Never.
I think it's out on the coast or close to.
Yeah, I've heard of Plant City, but I had never been there.
Let's see. I may be wrong.
Christy says, Gary, I don't like you right now.
All right.
Gary says, hey, it was grade school.
It's an hour and a half from Eustis. It's in Hillsborough County, so out by, like on the way to Tampa, up by 4.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I remember now.
It's
Hillsborough County.
I'm just amazed at how many things there are to do around here.
Oh, all the time.
All these festivals and just
Yeah.
town events. Every month they have First Friday here.
Where they block off all the streets
And
in the little town and
Yeah.
entertainment and vendors and yeah, it's pretty street performers and
Vern Gosden owned a
Lots of
house in
food.
Bruton, Alabama, across from Walmart.
that's one thing I've never done is gone to the Strawberry Festival.
Plant City is most of Florida. Over here, get our fruits. Okay.
And they jacked up the prices for hotels.
Yeah,
That
it's
one. I didn't intentionally look, but when I looked up Plant City from here,
But it's funny how Gary went to school with Reba in grade school, and now he mentions Vern Gosden, and apparently Harold is Vern Gosden was his third cousin.
Wow. That's cool,
That's interesting.
right? He's like, hey, that's my cousin.
I don't have any. I'm not related to anybody famous like that. Went to school with people who went on to become like sports, figures, football players. But here I am. It's about as famous I'll get. I'm good with that. I'm not here for that anyway.
Damn cats outside.
I know, I hear them. I don't know if the door closed, so they might be getting
They're
in there.
probably in there and fighting over who's going to get in there. And we watched one fall in the lake again yesterday. Was it yesterday or I can't remember. Went to walk out the back door and there was a cat on the wall. There's another one down below. Actually, they were both on the wall. When I opened the door, I think it freaked them out. One went down to the ground, the other one went over the wall into the water. And I was so shocked. I was like, oh, no, it's in the water.
In 3 days, we've seen, I think it's the same damn cat,
I think so, too.
end up in the lake. They go up on, it's just funny. We fish a lot with rubber worms, and we'll lean the pole against the wall, the seawall, and there's usually a rubber worm dangling. Well, we have so many fucking cats around here. They'll get up on the wall and swat it, and one day the one missed or whatever.
Went for a leap and it's a splash, but you don't see it because it goes down behind the wall, and it's like, oh shit.
And they climb back up the wall.
Luckily, there hasn't been gators out here.
Yeah, no.
Not yet. I think it's still a little on the cool side. I don't know, but there hadn't been any for a couple months now.
Christy says I got to shake Sammy Kershaw's hand. Right on.
Right on.
Who did I shake hands with? Few. Garth Brooks,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Willie
yeah,
Nelson.
You've met a lot.
I don't know, Dizzy Gillespie, John Travolta. I've shooken a lot of hands, dude. Oh, Diamond Rio, another good band.
Yeah.
So cool. My oldest son's uncle is an actor, though, in Italy. He was on The Bold and the Beautiful and played Clark Garrison.
Kurt. I don't. Played Rock Hudson and Elizabeth Taylor Star too. He's not well known.
Well, that's cool though. Yeah, I used to end up in weird situations where I'd meet somebody, you know, right place, right time. A lot of people in New York City. Who else? Clint Black. Yeah. Dan McVicker. Why does that name sound familiar? Dan McVicker. There, let me put that link in chat. We still got 25 minutes left. Anybody wants to join us, feel free to click on that link. We used to get a lot of, well, when I was working in Sedona, I worked for the ATV, side-by-side rentals. And we get a lot of people come through there. Toby Keith used to go there a lot before I worked there. He was friends with the owners. But had some of the WNBA, one of those girls come through. I forget her name. It was weird seeing this girl so tall.
Yeah.
I mean, John Bernthal.
Right.
He's been through. They were through there. Doug Brewer. No, what's his name? The comedian.
I don't know.
Bauer. Fuck. He was in. Oh shit! That movie with Dave Chappelle and forget his first name. No shit. Jim Brewer, thank you. My dad got pulled over by Buford Pusser once while Dad was a truck driver. No shit. That was the whole Walking Tall movie. Buford Pusser. Huh. Johnny Cash grew up down the road from my grandparents' home in Arkansas. My Uncle Orville was the man who lifted him over the fence in the flood that he based his song 5 Feet High and Rising off of. See, it's little tidbits like that are fascinating.
Right.
You know? Yes, Jim Brewer. It's funny because he came in. I had met him years ago in New York City at NBC. I was doing a delivery to NBC at Rockefeller Plaza. And I saw him in the hall when I was making the delivery. But when he showed up to rent the vehicle, apparently he was doing a New Year's Eve show down in Phoenix. And I started talking to him after he went out and did his ride and stuff, and they came back, and I was talking to him. I said, are there any tickets available? And he goes, dude, I have no idea. He goes, I don't handle that. He goes, hold on. And he makes a phone call, and he hooked me up with 2 tickets, or 2 or 3 tickets. Me and my cousin, my nephew, we went down and saw him on New Year's Eve. Figgy says, I live behind Merle Haggard in Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm just backpedaling. Classmates with Lou Diamond Phillips. Who was that? I just saw that. Oh, my brother John was high school classmates with Lou Diamond Phillips. That's cool. Not fair, Viggy. Because she's the behind Merle Haggard.
That's fun.
Jay Fritz, yes, he did. Jay Fritz played golf with Elvis Presley.
For real.
True story.
Yep. Jay, I just found out recently that my dad was in the same Army unit as Elvis. Missed him by 2 weeks, I think.
He was the head of him. He was in the class.
Yeah. He had gotten shipped out, and my dad had just came in 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
After he had gotten shipped out, but yeah.
He was in a light tank.
Yeah, my dad was the tank commander. I'm not sure. I didn't look into what Elvis was.
Yeah.
So he's one of my customers. He used to play on General Hospital.
Brian Patrick Clark.
He's done a lot of little stuff, but he like Law and Order. He's done a lot of Law and Order shows. And
growing up where I grew up, in like from the time I was 13, I lived with my dad, and where we lived is it's a suburb of New York City. It's in Jersey, but it's northern New Jersey. So you get a lot of movie stars and people that would, because it's so close to Manhattan, but they're expensive neighborhoods. We didn't belong there, but and so we had, like Dizzy Gillespie lived up the street. Rocky Aoki lived up the street. Rocky Aoki was the founder of Benihana, the restaurants, and he was also a boat racer, and the guy had been pronounced dead like 8 times through boat accidents and all sorts of crazy shit. The Travoltas, my dad, he knew the family. I had met, a few of them. Eddie Murphy lived up the street from us. It was just where we were that there were a lot of people around it. Right across the street from us was Julia Barr. She played Brooke English on All My Children. Next to her was a talk show host from New York City. It's just stupid. So I don't look people. I don't get starstruck. Just somebody else, It's just another person.
Yeah, I don't either, except for when I ran into Shaquille O'Neal. I think that was more shock. that was
when you literally ran into
I face planted in his belly.
It's not like, oh yeah, I ran into so and so at the store. No, literally.
I said, oh shit. And I looked up. Oh shit. And he just laughed.
JD, have it videoed on your channel. Then when that happened, they probably didn't have video cameras.
No. Look, Danny said they didn't have video in the 50s, did they, Fritz?
See? And I'm sure it wasn't in the 50s, but
No, that's awesome.
yeah, like what golf playing Elvis version was this? Was this the the fat old guy, or
No, probably not.
strung out on the ninth tee,
Danny said the 40s.
Karen says, I don't either, meaning getting starstruck. She says, my grandma worked at the Mad Hatter at Disneyland from the day it opened until she retired, and met lots of famous people. They were all just people. "1968, Jay played golf with Elvis."
That's cool.
And the reason it happened, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, didn't your property back up to the golf course? If I'm not mistaken. Correct. When was the last time you played golf, Jay? I don't think he's played much in a while. I think because of his back
since he took that fall and
yeah.
did the splits.
Ironically, my Aunt Essie was married to Elvis's record distributor for Sun Records. Huh. David said, I wrote a song similar to On the Eighth Day by Kiss. Just weird how close the two songs are. He said, I wrote mine before they recorded theirs. That's weird. Yeah, broke your ankle. That's right. Danny says, I haven't touched a golf club since the 70s. It's been 3 years since he played golf.
It's been that long? Wow.
Jeez. Yeah, but before that 3 years, he was playing a lot, wasn't he? He was down at the...
Well, he was working there.
At the golf club, yeah.
He was working. So, yes, I'm sure.
I haven't played golf in forever, too. I have clubs.
I've never played mini golf. I was pretty good at mini golf.
That's the short game.
Yeah.
That's a totally different game.
I know. Oh, I've been on a golf course. I've worked a couple.
Yeah, but you did the events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been up close and watched it.
Harold says my dad drank a beer with Johnny Cash. Right on. I was in a bar with John Travolta when I was 3rd grade. My dad picked me up. I was living in South Jersey, and my dad picked me up to go hunting. Probably one of those times when I was his bird dog. And when we got up to northern New Jersey, my dad stopped into the bar to get change for the milk machine. They actually had a milk machine. And he goes into the bar, and this is a town that my dad was a cop in at the time. And he comes back out to the truck and says, hey, do you want to meet John Travolta? I'm like, duh. Yeah, I was in 3rd grade. This was still like Welcome Back, Kotter, and I don't even know if he did Saturday Night Fever yet. I don't remember. And yeah, so we went into this little bar, and he was behind the bar. He was goofing around, serving drinks, just bucking around. Yeah. Karen says she's only played putt-putt golf and suck at it.
That's all I've played, and I was actually pretty good at it, surprisingly. I mean, first time I tried, played with a group of people, and I won.
Oh, Putt Cup.
Yeah. There was like eight people, I think. It was an outing for my daughter's job. When she was in high school. It was fun.
All right. Harold says, my dad got to meet Elvis when he was 16, and my Aunt Essie called him up and told him to get his ass to the restaurant because Elvis was there, and she had a surprise for him, and Elvis waited.
That's very cool.
For him to show up. That's cool as hell.
That's very cool.
Of course, she had him at gunpoint. You're not coming until he gets here.
Right. I was going to say knife point.
Where are we at? We got 11 minutes left. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I left David back there again. What's up?
That ain't no problem. I always get left somewhere. Oh, no, funny story. My uncle, whenever he was a kid, he got a job sweeping the floors at the grocery store, and just above the grocery store was the radio station on the second floor. And he was listening to the radio one day, and all of a sudden he heard the office racket. So he ran upstairs to see what was wrong. Well, the guy was going through some kind of trauma. I don't remember whether it was a heart attack or what. So he decided he's just almost a teenager. He's going to take over the radio station and become the DJ. So it took the guy that owned the radio station a little over an hour to get there. And by the time he got there, the phones was done flooded. People were going to quit listening to the station and everything else. And my uncle was proud of himself. He said, well, how did I do? Did I get the job? He says, I never want to see your face back in here again. He said, you are the worst DJ I've ever heard in my life. He said, my phone lines have been flooded. But
that's funny. Anita, take care. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Anita.
Yeah, but the coolest thing about my uncle, he got to see Paul McCartney.
Wow.
He was over at one of his friends' houses, and they were sitting there talking. He said all of a sudden there was a knock on the door, and he turned around and he said, come on in. And he said Paul just walked in and sat down on the couch and was talking to business with the guy that my uncle was sitting there talking with, and he got to meet and greet with him for a little bit. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Harold said, my dad was on a Lawrence Welk competition after that as an Elvis impersonator. He came in second place to a girl who played piano and aired on the show.
Oh, God. I used to have an Elvis impersonator live next door to me, and he drove me crazy. I always wished he would learn to close the windows.
Val says, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a radio DJ. I kind of did, too. I wanted to be a DJ growing up. Sounds stupid, but
that's one thing I did whenever I was growing up. Dad got us one of these newfangled AM, FM, double cassette tape,
boom boxes,
record player, 8-track player radios, and I mean, it had everything lined up on it. And I'd always sit in the bedroom playing like I was a DJ at a station. Dad told me.
It's just something I always wanted to do that. Thought it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in high school, I looked into the musical librarian. It's basically the person that would set the music for radio stations. Back then there wasn't computers, so that was an actual job.
Yeah.
I remember I did a report on it for like our media marketing class that I took, some elective class, but I just thought that would be a cool job. And then computers came around and shot that job all to shit. Musical librarian.
Whenever I started making mixtapes, I didn't know that you were supposed to keep, I call it genre, a lot of people call it genre, Anyway, I didn't know you're supposed to stay within one genre, you know, and
Oh, but when you're
you're going
making
to
a
do country, you're either going to do country mixtape or a rock and roll mixtape. And I freaked all my friends out because I would start off with like Merle Haggard, then I'd go to Flats and Scruggs, then Alice Cooper, Million Dollar Babies, and then Hank Williams Jr. They're tearing my beer, and then just one thing right after another. Huh? Yeah, Daddy called it my mixed up tape.
Mixed up.
Oh, he had a fit one time. He found my Twisted Sister cassette in his truck, and he like to have a fit over that.
Why?
Cause it was some dudes dressed up in drag.
D. Snyder?
Yeah.
Well, I went to high school with a Jimmy Roach.
Yeah, Dad didn't get along with that drag stuff. But
Sharon says it's definitely been a cool show tonight. Learned a lot about everyone, and that's good. Yeah.
Right.
yeah. No, I just thought that cool. And I wanted to tell. It's too long for text. Or
Right.
Yeah, because I might have to read it.
no. Yeah. I thought
No, I'm glad you shared that story. That's cool.
That is very.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, well, I'm gonna get off here one more time. I'll see y'all.
Right on. Good night.
Good night, David.
Thanks, David. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up in about 4 minutes. It's been a cool show. Gotta get that shampoo now.
Right.
Hold on a second. I gotta figure out what it was.
He's gonna go look now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's funny. I always tease him about his hair. I tell him I hate his hair. He's got better hair than I do.
No, it's. I like this shampoo because it smells good. It's shea butter. It's Head and Shoulders shea butter. And I don't think this has it's not the 2-in-1. It's just, I'll probably get dinged for it. Really don't give a fuck.
Probably not. You're just showing something.
Just drop
Can't see it.
money on the floor.
I think your wallet. This is just an awesome. Thank you. I still like the tea tree one. Makes your head tingle.
No, the tea tree works.
Makes your
I
head
like
feel
that.
cool.
The tea tree oil, that works good.
It does.
Else has enjoyed hanging out. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed weekend. That's all right. The weekend is just a day away after tomorrow.
I know.
I don't think I am. Well, actually, I got to work this weekend. It's going to be a nice weekend, and it just got busier and busier.
Well,
Now
that's
I got
why.
2 for Saturday and 1 for
That's
Sunday,
why.
but that'll change. Probably walk in tomorrow afternoon. So, guys, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. As
Indeed.
usual, Danny says, "Rip Gene Hackman." Prayers to that family. It's a shame that if that's the way it went down, where the dog died too,
Yeah.
and his wife. I mean, that's suspicious.
Yeah.
But guys, if you enjoyed the show, please hit that like button, share, subscribe if you're new.
Have a good weekend. Be
And,
safe.
Absolutely be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. We love you.
We do.
Peace and God bless everyone.